Once again, good afternoon to all children.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Today we are going to discuss some few more problems in limits, and by today we will be completing the limits. Okay, by today we have to complete the limits and we have to start with the next topic. So few more questions are there, 2 or 3 more questions. Okay, that one we are going to discuss. Okay, write the first one. Write the first one. If f of x is equal to, if f of x is equal to, it's given like this, f of x is equal to x square minus 1, if x is less than or equal to 1, minus x square minus 1, if x is greater than 1. If f of x is equal to x square minus 1, where x is less than or equal to 1, and minus x square minus 1, if x is greater than 1. Thus, limit extending to 1 exists. Thus, limit extending to 1 exists. Limit extending to 1 of f of x exists. Thus, limit extending to 1 of f of x exists. So, similar question we have discussed earlier. Okay, when will you say limit exists? When will you say limit of a function exists?
Left hand limit is equal to right hand limit.
Very good, Punya. If the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, then we say that limit of the function exists, isn't it? Here we have to check whether the limit at x is equal to 1 exists or not. That means we have to find the left hand limit at 1, to find the right hand limit at 1, and if they are same, then we can say limit exists. Okay, so I'm going to find out the left hand limit. That is same as, we can denote this as limit extending to 1 minus, isn't it? 1 minus means what does it mean? Then value of x is very closer to 1, but it is less than 1. So limit extending to 1 minus of f of x. So 1 minus means what will be the function? From the given function, can you identify? Less than 1. For less than 1, which case you have to consider? Here two cases. Yes?
Minus x square minus 1.
Minus x square minus 1 is the case when x is?
X square minus 1.
It is x square minus 1. It is 1 minus means it is less than 1. For less than 1, what is the function here? X square minus 1. So when we put x is 1, we will get 1 square minus 1, which is 0. Similarly, find out the right hand limit. What will be the right hand limit? Right hand limit is limit extending to 1 plus of f of x. 1 plus means it is greater than 1. So for greater than 1, what is the function? It is minus x square minus 1. So what is the answer you will get? Minus x square minus 1.
Minus 2.
It is minus 2. So left hand limit, is it equal to here? No, isn't it? Therefore what we can say? Left limit is not equal to right limit. So limit extending to 1 of f of x does not exist. Limit does not exist. If the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, then we say that the limit of the function exists. If the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, then we can say limit of that function exists. Is it okay, children? Is it clear? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So now let's move on to the next question. Find limit extending to 0 of f of x and limit extending to 1 of f of x and limit extending to 1 of f of x, where f of x is equal to, 2x plus 3 when x is less than or equal to 0, 3 into x plus 1 when x is greater than 0. Find limit extending to 0 of f of x and limit extending to 1 of f of x, where f of x is 2x plus 3 if x is less than or equal to 0 and 3 into x plus 1 if x is greater than 0. Okay. So the first one I'm going to find, case 1. Case 1 I'm going to find out limit extending to 0 of f of x. Now look at, listen children, here extending to 0, look at the function. At the point 0, okay, less than 0 we have one function, greater than 0 another function is there. So we are going to find the limit at 0. So and at that point the function for less than one function and greater than another function. If it happens like that, we have to find the left limits and the right limits. Is it clear? Our aim is to find the limits. And if you look at the function, at the point 0, you are splitting that function. Less than 0, one function is there. Greater than 0, another function is there. If it is like that, at that point, if the function is being splitted, you have to find the left limit and right limit separately, and you have to check whether they are equal. If they are equal, then we can say limit exists and that value is the limit. If the limit, left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, then we say limit does not exist there. Limit is not there when left hand limit is not equal to right hand limits. So at x is it clear children why we are going with left limit and right limit? At the point 0, if you look at there, two functions are there. Less than 0, one function is defined. Greater than 0, another function is defined. Okay, so let's start with, I'm starting with the left hand limit. Left hand limit at 0. So limit extending to 0 minus of f of x. For less than 0, what is the function defined here? For less than 0, the function is 2x plus 3, isn't it? So when you put x is 0, so we'll get 3. Now find out what is right hand limit. Find out the right hand limit at 0. What is the answer? Right hand limit at 0. At 0 means it is greater than 0. So at greater than 0, what is the function? What is the answer? What is right hand limit?
3.
It is 3, isn't it? So left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to 3. Therefore we can say limit extending to 0 of f of x is 3. So the first one we have completed. Now look at the second one. What is this case 2? Our second we have to find is limit extending to 1 of f of x, isn't it? Limit extending to 1 of f of x. So when x tends to 1, look at the function. Here whether the multiple function is defined at 1? No, isn't it? Two functions are defined when x is 0. But when x is 1, which is the function defined there? What is the function defined there when x takes to value 1?
3 into x plus 1.
Very good. Okay, so we are taking the function. That is only one function is defined when x is approaching towards 1. So we can directly take the function. Here no need to take left hand limit and right hand limits. Is it clear? So when you put x is 1, here what you will get? 3 into 1 plus 1. So the answer is 6. 6. Is it clear, children? Why we are finding the left hand limit in the first case, left hand, right hand limit in the first case, and in the second case we are just substituting the values. Because when at x is equal to 1, that is only one function is defined in the neighborhood of 1. But if you take the neighborhood of 0, two functions are defined. For less than one function, greater than one function. So when two functions or multiple functions are defined at a particular point, you have to find left limit and right limits. Is it okay? Is it clear, children? Atul, Tomlin, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Naureen?
Ma'am, can you show again? I couldn't complete.
Okay, this is how we are finding a limit. When multiple functions are given at a particular point, if it is splitted, we find left hand limit and right hand limit, and if they are equal, then we say limit exists. Next one, is it over, Achut?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Write the next one. Next one is an important one. Let f of x is equal to, let f of x is equal to a plus bx, a plus bx if x is less than 1, for if x is equal to 1, b minus ax if x is greater than 1. B minus ax if x is greater than 1. And limit extending to 1 of f of x is equal to f of 1. And limit extending to 1 of f of x is equal to f of 1. What are the possible values of a and b? What are the possible values of a and b? F of x is given like this, a plus bx if x is less than 1, 4 if x is equal to 1, b minus ax if x is greater than 1, and limit extending to 1 of f of x is equal to f of 1. What are the possible values of a and b? What are the possible values of a and b? Okay. How to do this? Limit extending to 1 of f of x is equal to f of 1. Listen, children. Here, the limit at 1 is equal to f of 1. The limit at 1 is equal to f of 1. Now look at the point 1. At n x is equal to 1. When x is 1, we have multiple functions defined, isn't it? When less than 1, one function is there. If it is equal to 1, another function is there. When x is greater than 1, another function is there. But the limit is equal to f of 1. So that means from here what we can say, left hand limit at 1, limit extending to 1 minus of f of x is equal to limit extending to 1 plus of f of x is equal to f of 1. The limit is equal to f of 1. That means limit extending to 1 of f of x is existing. Limit extending to 1 of f of x exists. So when will you say limit exists? If left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to value of the function. So I named this as equation 1. So now find out what is left hand limit. What is the left hand limit? Limit extending to 1 minus of f of x. For less than 1, what is the function? For less than 1, what is the function defined here? It is a plus bx. When you put x is 1, you will get a plus b. Similarly, find out what is the right hand limit. What is the right hand limit? What is the right hand limit here? Naureen, can you give the answer? Right hand limit? Louder? B minus A. B minus A. And what is f of 1? What is f of 1? When x is 1. When x is 1, f of 1 is 4. So, I am substituting in equation 1. When you substitute this in equation 1, we get left limit a plus b is equal to b minus a is equal to 4. That is, a plus b is equal to 4 is one equation. I am naming this as 2. B minus A is equal to 4 is the second equation. So now we got two equations in two unknowns. Two equations in two unknowns. We can solve these two equations and you can find what is A and what is B. We got two equations in two unknowns. A and B are the unknowns. You can solve these two equations and you can find what is A and what is B. You can solve these two equations and find what is A and what is B. So what is the value of A and what is the value of B? Aishwarya, can you repeat?
A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 4.
Very good. A is 0, B is 4. A is 0 and B is 4. When you add these two, A will get cancelled. So you get 2B is equal to 8, isn't it? From here you can find what is B. Substitute this in any one of the equation and find out what is A. Up to this, is it okay, children? Is it okay up to this? Limits, is it okay? Is it clear? But you have to practice
Yes, ma'am.
with many questions you have to practice it. Okay, now we are going to start with the next topic. Write the heading, derivative of at a given point. Derivative, that is differentiation. Derivative, otherwise called differentiation. Derivative at a given point. I'm just going to give the theory part. Okay. Few of them are there with applied maths and few are there pure maths. Okay. Here, concept you should know. Then only you'll be able to solve the problems. Okay. Just what is meant by derivative? That's the concept I'm going to teach. But while solving, we'll not be using that one. We'll be applying the formulas and all. But the small introduction, you should get familiar with what is meant by derivative. Okay. Listen, children, don't write anything. Now listen. Okay. Suppose y is equal to f of x is a given. Okay. Suppose y is equal to f of x be the given curve. Y is equal to f of x be the given curve. That means the value of y is changing with respect to x. Is it correct? Y is f of x. So when x is changing, whenever there is a change in x, there is a corresponding change in y. Okay. So in just suppose you are marking a curve like this. Suppose this is the point P, x comma y. Okay. I'm taking a point Q which is closer to P, in the neighborhood. Okay. As to get a neat figure only, I am drawing in a somewhat far away, but it means we are taking a point in the neighborhood of P. What is in the neighborhood of P? Very close to P. So let Q be a point. So let Q be a point in the neighborhood of P. That means if you draw the graph, there will be some corresponding changes will be there. So this value is x, this distance is x, isn't it? And this is y. Again, if I plot this, okay, this point, there is some change. One small difference is there. So the point Q, the coordinates of Q will okay, children. Okay, that's power failure. Okay. Okay, children. Now listen. See, suppose I am taking the value. Okay, when we draw the graph, okay, there is some value x here. Suppose I take this value as 2, comma 3. Okay, I am taking a point Q which is closer to P. So closer to P means suppose this point is 2.1 and 3, comma 5. there is a small change in x. Here it is 2, here it is 2.1. I'm taking the neighborhood. Neighborhood means it is the closer one. We are taking the values closer to it. So usually suppose we take the value is x. A small increment, we denote this like this, delta x. Or sometimes we denote this as the small delta x. A small increment, a small change in x. We denote this as delta x or small delta x, or at times we denote this as x plus h, where what is h? H is the increment. For example, if x is 2, so x plus 0.1 is 2.1. So what is the value of h here? It is 1.1. A small change in x. Suppose we take x is 2. So suppose I take delta x is minus 0.1. So what is x plus delta x? 2 plus minus 0.1. So you will get 1.9. That is again a neighborhood. Is it okay? Is it clear, children? What is in by delta? Delta means a small increment. A small change in the value of x. So here it is x, y. So correspondingly there is a change here. We denote this as x plus delta x, y plus delta y. The coordinates of Q, we denote this as x plus delta x or y plus delta y. Now, so this is the point Q. Now, this is the function, the delta x. This is delta x, isn't it? This is change in x. This up to this we are taking this as x. So this value you can write it as x plus delta x. Up to this is y. So this one will be delta y. Is it okay up to this? Is it clear, children? Up to this is 2 and this is 2.1. So it will be this distance. This 0.1. Same way here it is x comma y. So up to this it is y. So it will be this point, this length. It is delta y. Similarly here it is x. This is x plus delta x. So this distance will be delta x. Is it okay? So this is this. Okay. So this distance is delta x and this distance is delta y. So now we are going to learn one new term called slope. What is slope? Slope is change in the value of y by change in x. Change in the value of y by change in the value of x. Change in the value of y by change in the value of x. Is it clear? What is slope? In other words, we denote this as delta y by delta x. Slope is change in y by change in x. Up to this, is it clear? Is it okay? What is meant by delta? What is meant by slope? A small change in x by change in y. We call it as slope. It is called slope. Up to that, is it okay? If the new terms, is it clear, children? If you are familiar with that, you will be able to move forward. Is it okay up to this? Okay. Is it clear, Aditya? Nia? Okay. So now listen. Okay, again I am going to explain it again. Let y is equal to f of x. I am drawing the curve. Y is equal to f of x. I am selecting a point P. Suppose the coordinates, usually we write the points P. Point P means it is of the form x comma y, isn't it? Point P means it takes the form x comma y. So here x comma y is f of x. So shall I write like this? X comma f of x. X comma y. What is y? Okay. Now I am taking a point Q. So a small change is there. So we take this as x plus h. F of x plus h. F of x plus h. And defining the slope. What is the formula for slope? Now what we discussed about slope. What is slope? Change in the value of y by change in x. So what is the change in the value of y? F of x plus h minus f of x by x plus h minus x. Change in y by change in x. So what is the change here? New value is f of x plus h, old value is f of x. So what is the change? New value minus old value, f of x plus h minus f of x by change in x, x plus h minus x. So these two will get cancelled. So you will get f of x plus h minus f of x by h. Now listen children. Now the point Q is coming closer and closer. The point Q is approaching towards P. That means H is moving towards 0. What happens when Q is coming closer? This H value will be decreasing. It is decreasing, decreasing. And when P and Q ultimately it coincides, how we can say? H is approaching towards 0. H tends to 0. When P and Q will coincide, if you join this line, it will become the tangent at the point. What is meant by tangent? What is meant by tangent? What's the tangent?
Only point that touches.
A line, yes, very good. It is a line which touches the curve at, last year you learned with circle. Okay, for a circle we have learned a tangent. It is a point which touches the circle at one point. Here it is for a curve. A line which touches the curve at one point is called a tangent. So when P and Q are coinciding, if you draw a line, if you draw that line, it will become the tangent. If you join PQ, it will become the tangent at the point, tangent at P. So we can denote this as limit h approaching towards 0. F of x plus h minus f of x by h. So this value, listen children, I have taken P above Q. Likewise here also you can take Q below P. Okay, so from the left hand side or it may be from the right hand side. You can take P above, you can take Q above P or less than, you can take a value P which is less than P. Okay, it may be above or below. So that means it can approach P either from the left hand side or from the right hand side. So now we are going to see the left hand limit, left hand derivative and right hand derivative.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, please explain from the when P and Q coincide.
When P and Q coincides, the line at PQ will become the tangent. Is it okay? When P and Q coincides, it will become the tangent. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what I said is, you can take the point Q. Here I have taken Q from here, isn't it? Or same way what we can do, we can take the Q here also. Neighborhood means it may be closer to P. It may be on the right hand side or maybe on the left hand side. If Q is approaching to P, from the right hand side we say right hand derivative. This value will be calling it as right hand derivative. If the point is to the left, then we say it will be the Okay, children, so let me conclude that one. Okay, so here, if we that Q may approach towards P from the left hand side or from right hand side. So when we say left hand derivative, so when it is approaching from left hand side, we denote this as limit extending to 0 minus of f of x plus h minus f of x by h. Okay, this one we call this as left hand derivative. Left hand derivative. Likewise, right hand derivative. This is limit extending to 0 plus of f of x plus h minus f of x by h. If left hand derivative and right hand derivatives are equal, then we say derivative exists at that point. If left hand derivative, like the limit, if left hand derivative same as right hand derivative, we say the function is differentiable or derivative exists at that point. Okay, so I'm concluding with this, children. Is it okay? Just go read the textbook and come in the next class. Read the text. Okay, in your textbook you have this derivation, definitions and all given in the textbook. Read that one and come. Okay, thank you, children. End this session.
Thank you, ma'am.